Good day, everyone, especially to our instructor for Lit 5, Sir Tony Boaya, Doctor of Philosophy. I am Emily Arya Galgo, a BSEd English 3 student from BITIC Hagna. Today, I am going to tackle about the first creative period in poetry. First, let's have the objectives. First objective, to provide a comprehensive overview of the first creative period in poetry, and second, to highlight the brief history, significant literary forms, main themes, and notable authors of this period. Brief history. The first creative period in poetry, often referred to as the Romantic era or Renaissance of poetry, emerged in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. This era was marked by a significant shift from the structured and formal styles of the previous centuries to a more expressive and individualistic forms of poetry. We are now on the literary forms. Sonnets. Definition of a sonnet: 14-line poem with a specific rhyme scheme expressing deep personal emotions and contemplations. Types: Shakespearean with AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG, and Italian E, AB, BA, ABBA, CD, CD, CD. Characteristics: explores themes of love, beauty, mortality, and introspection. Odes, formal poems of praise, were used to celebrate nature, love, and other abstract concepts. So types: Pindaric, formal structured, and Horatian, informal conversational. Characteristics: elevated language, rich imagery, and expressive emotion. Elegies, mournful or reflective poems, often address themes of loss and mortality. Characteristics: reflective, melancholic, and expressive. Types: formal and informal. Lyrical ballads, characterized by their musical rhythm and storytelling. And characteristics: simple language, folkloric themes, and focus on nature. Main themes: emotional intensity, emphasis on emotions, exploration of personal feelings, passions, and inner experiences, sincerity and authenticity. Poets express genuine emotions, rejecting artificiality, intense emotional expression, vivid imagery, symbolism, and language conveyed powerful emotions. Experimentation with form. Breaking conventions, poets rejected traditional forms, exploring new structures, innovative use of language, experimentation with imagery, symbolism, and metaphor, blending genres, combining elements of poetry, prose, and drama. Imagination and fantasy. Celebration of imagination. Poets valued creative vision and fantasy, escape from reality. Imagination offered refuge from societal constraints. Symbolism and metaphor. Fantastical elements conveyed complex ideas. Individualism. Emphasis on personal freedom, rejection of societal norms and conventions, autonomy and self-expression. Poets asserted individuality, non-conformity, challenging established authority. Nature worship, reverence for nature. Poets saw nature as a sacred, sublime, and awe-inspiring. Pantheism, nature embodied divine spirit, escape from urbanization. Nature offered solace from industrialization. Lastly, social and political issues. Critique of social hierarchy. Poets challenged class divisions, advocacy for reform, support for democratic ideals, reaction to industrialization, concerns about urbanization and pollution. Notable authors: George Gordon Byron, She Walks in Beauty. She Walks in Beauty in 1814, a lyrical poem celebrating a woman's beauty, exploring themes of love, beauty, and mortality. Characteristic features elegant language, rich imagery, and musical rhythm. Influences classical Greek poetry, Italian Renaissance literature. Byron's life: aristocratic background, scandalous affairs, Greek independence advocate. Number 2, John Keats, Ode to Nightingale. Ode to Nightingale in 1819, a poignant exploration of mortality, beauty, and transcendence through nature. Key themes: melancholy, longing, escapism. Characteristic features: sensual language, vivid imagery, emotional intensity. The influences: Greek mythology, Shakespearean sonnets. Keats' life: brief, tumultuous life marked by poverty, illness, and tragic love. Number 3, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Ozymandias. Ozymandias in 1818, a sonnet critiquing authoritarianism, exploring themes of power, decay, and impermanence. Key themes: social commentary, irony, hubris. Characteristic features: philosophical depth, rich imagery, complex symbolism. Influences: Greek mythology, Platonic philosophy. Shelley's life: radical politics, scandalous relationships, tragic death. Number 4, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner in 1798, a supernatural ballad exploring guilt, isolation, and redemption. Key themes: nature symbolism, psychological insight. Characteristic features: innovative language, dreamlike imagery, and the influences are folklore, mythology, and German Romanticism. Coleridge life: friendship with Wordsworth, opium addiction, philosophical explorations. And lastly, William Wordsworth, I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud in 1804, a lyrical poem celebrating nature's beauty and the poet's emotional response. Key themes: nature, memory, and introspection. Characteristic features: simple language, vivid imagery, emphasis on emotion, and the influences are classical literature, French Revolution ideals, and Wordsworth's life: quiet, introspective life, key figure in lake school poetry. And now, for the conclusion, the first creative period in poetry marked a significant shift in literary expression, laying the groundwork for modern poetic forms and themes. Its emphasis on emotion, nature, and social issues has left a lasting impact and continues to resonate with readers today. This period's legacy is evident in the enduring influence of its notable poets and their works. Before the references, I have a quote from William Wordsworth: nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Then I guess each of us has his or her own interpretation of this quote, and I just want to say, love the nature as nature loves us back. Thank you for listening.